Somebody's gonna have to barf it all up.
I don't want a new family. I don't want any family. Family. Hey, I'm calling the cops.
Hiya, pal. We outsmarted you this time.
If you're making a list of top 10 greatest Christmas films of all time, each one of you must be placed Home Alone on the top of the list. Once regarded as the highest grossing live-action comedy from its first release in 1990 to 2011, Home Alone has so many theories left to explore. What mysteries behind the character of Kevin McAllister that we need to know? We are gonna find it out on Theory of Everything. This program will entertain you with our own take on various numbers of popular culture, from the tragic life of John Lennon to that hidden message on your favorite songs. It doesn't stop there. We may also tell you about the most controversial conspiracy theories in the world, a secret code in your favorite video games, and perhaps the story of your top list artist of all time. So, stay tuned and happy binge watching for Theory of Everything. Today, we're going to breaking down our theory on Home Alone, the most awaited film during Christmas holiday season. We will tell you about the story behind its creation and even the life stories of its cast. Home Alone is a film that revolves around the life of Kevin McAllister, a boy who defends his suburban Chicago home from burglars after his family accidentally leaves him behind on their Christmas vacation to Paris. As you can see, the premise is quite simple. But what makes the film special is the way Kevin defends his house from burglars with his trap strategy and of course, Macaulay Culkin's cute performance.
You're dead!
Unfortunately, there's a high price for the traps and cute performance. Kevin is considered by some film critics to be a grew-up psychopath. Of course, they have some proofs to strengthen this theory. First, Kevin's pretty egocentric, being the only one who causes trouble out of 15 people in the house, and then is gleeful when he later believes he made his own family disappear.
I made my family disappear.
Although the majority of his trap looked to be harmless and of the sort you might expect from a kid his age, like that car toys on the floor, or glass Christmas ornaments and lights, or tripwire, some others are really dangerous and in some extent could make the burglars' lives end. Those traps included fire on the hat trap that prepared by Kevin when the burglars tried to enter the home from the kitchen. Also, the nail trap. Kevin has prepared an upturned nail in his basement stair to slow down Murph, one of the burglars, to enter his living room. Watching that nail sink into Murph's foot is painful when all we're doing is sitting on the couch. So we can only imagine how much it might have hurt if it was real. Another dangerous trap was that hot knob. Kevin made the doorknob at his house dangerously hot by placing an electric charcoal starter on the other side of the door. So when Murph grabs it, he gets burned so serious that he has a big M on his palm for the rest of his life. With all those traps that he made, we could say that Kevin has this sort of psychopath's tendencies. Oh, and more surprisingly, Macaulay Culkin went on 3 years after the first Home Alone film to star in The Good Son as a boy who eventually tries to kill everyone around him. Meaning another director saw him playing Kevin McAllister and realized he'd be perfect as a murderer's child. How about that? Feeling surprised? Continue on, the theory about Kevin McAllister character won't end there. Some believe that he's the embryo of Jigsaw, aka John Kramer, the main antagonist character in the Saw franchise. It sounds more terrifying, isn't it? Yep, as we all know, John Kramer or Jigsaw has the intentions to torture his victims with some sort of games or traps. Have you found any similarity? Yep, whether it's coincidental or not, it's quite in line with Kevin's intentions to the burglars that want to kidnap him. Some Home Alone fans on the internet make theories about why Kevin growing up as a Jigsaw. They stated that both Kevin and Jigsaw punished criminals, have strained relationship with their families, and devise insidious death traps to maim and kill all of the people they lure to their location. Some fans also argued that both of them make intricate traps, both are homicidal, both have anchor issues. The bear trap from Saw looks like the furnace in Kevin's basement. Jigsaw has a room that looks like Kevin's basement. Jigsaw has a furnace trap playing off of Kevin's fear. Furthermore, in an interview with Huffington Post, James Wan, the co-creator of Saw franchise, has stated that he thought that it was an amazing story. He thought that he should have known all along that Macaulay Culkin would grow up to be John Kramer. How about that? Is it possible that Kevin would grow up to be John Kramer? Before answering to that questions, maybe we should have to move on to another theory. It's not his own fault that Kevin could grow up as a psychopath. As we all know, Kevin's personalities must be came up from the influence that he got from his family. A theory says that Kevin's parents did a bad parenting. Let's break down about the theory. Have you ever realized why Kevin should end up at his home alone? Why in the world is that happening to him? If we pay attention closer to details, we will find it out it's because the lack of the parenting from his mom and dad. What kind of parents that went to the airport for a family trip to Paris without knowing their son is still at home? They even make Kevin, an 8-year-old kid, pack his own suitcase and pet a tarantula. The funniest part is to the fact that Kevin's parents didn't bombard any local police to make sure that their son is safe at home. His dad even said to his wife at the plane that they would not forget about Kevin. They just miscounted. Beside that line, the oddity of Peter McAllister also revolves around what he does for a living. In the film, Kevin's house looked quite fancy and luxurious, but there's no explanation about how his dad can afford it. Besides, his mom is a housewife without any source of income. A fan on the internet speculated that Kevin's dad worked as a spy from other country. Another theory said that Peter is hardened mob criminal. The theory said it becomes the main reason why the burglars targeted Kevin's house. As the latter theory, now we can all agree where Kevin's personalities came from. Moreover, Kevin also surrounded with bad relatives. He had uncle that rude to him and throw him bad word. He also had this big brother boss that is a bully, who does not even give him a slice of pizza. He also told Kevin that if he wanted that pizza, someone is going to have to barf it out. One day, his older sister even said to him something rude about him and a friend.
Les incompetents.
Because the words is the same in English, an 8-year-old Kevin must be completely understand about the word. As we can all imagine, Kevin's life must be through a lot of pressures. No wonder he got a lot of ideas to make insidious trap at his own house. Moving on to other theories. Kevin's bravery to stood against the burglars and using his basement to stop their actions is related to the story of his neighbor named Old Man Marley. One of the scenes of the film showed to us how Kevin, Buzz, and his cousin saw Old Man Marley spreading salt on the icy sidewalks up and down the street using his shovel. Buzz then told Kevin and his cousin that Old Man Marley was a murderous man called South Bend Shovel Slayer who killed his victims using that shovel. However, this story told by Buzz eventually realized by Kevin to Marley just a hoax. When he was at home alone, Kevin decided to go to a church because he was allured by an angelic voices of the young choir near his home. At the church, he met Old Man Marley for the first time. Marley told Kevin that he feels bad about something he did, and it's not a murder. Little Kevin listens and then tells a story about how the basement used to scare him with its darkness and funny smells. But he got over it, and now it doesn't scare him at all. He uses this theory as a metaphor to encourage Marley to contact his family and get past his fear. Marley also affects Kevin, reminding him how family is important and that even if you don't like them for a bit, they are still yours and they will always love you. From this scene, we can learn that the creator behind the film wanted to break the stereotype about the appearance. There is no need to judge someone or something merely because of its appearance. Instead, if we can see from his standpoint, we can understand that he's just a human being longing for love from his family. Although it's being criticized for some absurdity in its plot, Home Alone still considered by many as the most watched Christmas film of all time. It enjoyed across the world and has reached millions of viewers. The film enjoyed not only for whom celebrate Christmas, but also people from across the region. Have you ever watched the film? Or maybe you have your own theory about it? Don't forget to tell us on the comment section and also your feedback about the program. We still got other fascinating theories to watch, so stay tuned. Hi all! We welcome you to Theory of Everything. As much as we know, we're all enjoying popular culture for what it is. But sometimes we didn't realize it actually have a deeper meaning, the real facts that's unrevealed. But don't worry, Theory of Everything will give you the real taste of facts that lies underneath. And you'll probably like it. This time we will uncover many facts, truth, and controversy behind the 2022 Academy Awards. Starting from the host, the awarding controversy, winners and losers, and you probably knew the sausage slap from the one and only Will Smith.
And the Oscar for Best Picture is presented to...
And the Oscar goes to...
And the Oscar goes to...
Okay, so now, let's go down memory lane to Oscar 2022. Hosting the Oscars has never been the easiest gig ever, as viewers are quick to gripe when jokes fall flat, bits misfire, or the host disappears after an opening monologue. In 2019, the show went with a no-host format. It was refreshing at first, but the no-host approach brought diminishing returns when the Academy repeated it for the 2020 and the 2021 show. This 2022 Academy Award brings not just one host, but three: Regina Hall, Amy Schumer, and Wanda Sykes. The more the merrier, as they say. But fewer thought that it was a mess. Though Regina Hall is best known as an actor who's gifted when it comes to comedic roles, Schumer and Sykes both have experience as stand-up comics, a talent that generally works well for Oscar hosting, supposedly. But the result was a mess. Some people say they kinda missed the no-host format Oscar. Their chemistry on stage never had a chance to flourish, and their joke and take in general were lack creativity and nonsensible. Amy Schumer was the one who took the most critics. She was accused for stealing a joke from Twitter about Leonardo DiCaprio. Social media users questioned whether or not Schumer stole the joke from a viral tweet posted in last December 2021. The sadder part about the joke is that it just really isn't a very good joke. Well, but at least you don't just come up and slap somebody on the face. As people say, joke's on you now, Schumer. The Oscars 2022 conflict wasn't just stopped there. This year, Academy Award decided to cut off the live segment by cutting 8 categories of this year's televised program. On Twitter, many people used the hashtag PresentAll23 to express their disappointment with the decision, with some criticizing the Academy for failing to properly highlight the work of all works of cinema. It is a total bummer for all those people who actually works behind the camera. Not to mention, Dune had won the most categorized, despite it being called a buzzkill movie by the audience.
Ladies, there is no call we do not answer. There is no faith that we betray.
Smile, Gurney.
I am smiling.
Anyway, if the Oscar really needed the audience, they could have just used Dune winning for their engagement, right? Well, Oscar, you could have done better. The Oscar 2022 have also driven so many rumors among people. It started from the unnecessary Lightyear movie promo, which presented by Chris Evans. Really? Come on! This is an awarding show, not a film festival. It all came down to the Academy Awards committee that already signed the broadcasting rights to ABC Channel, which belongs to Disney, and it said that it will be on ABC Channel until 2028. The situation is so embarrassing. The Academy should have just streamed the ceremony on its own at this point, but I guess it won't be anytime soon. Another Oscar has come and gone, marked with the same predictable success and shocking snub. The first most honorable mention is from Ariana DeBose. She makes history as first queer woman of color to win Oscar. It makes DeBose only the second Latin actor to win an Oscar and the first queer woman of color. Not only that, she also hosting the upcoming 2022 Tony Award. And it's not her that she is drop dead gorgeous. The wait is finally over for Jessica Chastain. Chastain picked up the Best Actress for her performance in The Eyes of Tammy Faye. She won out in a stacked category that included Kristen Stewart, Nicole Kidman, Olivia Colman, and Penelope Cruz. This is Chastain's third round at the Oscars, but after failing to bring home the award twice, now Chastain is finally bringing home the gold. Another overshadowed award also goes to our favorite actor, Samuel L. Jackson. Performance has given life and voice to iconic characters everywhere. Despite having been on screen for most of his life, Jackson had never won an Oscar up until this time. Good for him! He finally got what he deserves now. There are some winners and there are some losers. Benedict Cumberbatch losing out an Oscar for the second time, despite being the bookie's favorite for a number of months. Benedict Cumberbatch comes second to Will Smith in the award for Best Leading Actor. His efforts playing the protagonist of Jane's Champions The Power of the Dog wasn't enough to see him over the line. Having lost in 2015 for The Imitation Game, Cumberbatch, one of the greatest actors of the 21st century, will have to wait a little longer to claim an Oscar. Well, it feels rather strange that he did not get one. Get it? Strange. Anyway, Disney's Encanto may have been a highly popular animated movie musical, and also the most awaited performance in the Oscar.
We don't talk about Bruno, no, no, no. We don't talk about Bruno.
The song We Don't Talk About Bruno performing in the Oscar was very disappointing. Instead of doing a regular good cover of the song, they changed the entire lyrics and shortened it a lot. And what is up with Megan Thee Stallion rap session? She's gorgeous by all means. But is it necessary to include the Academy in the lyrics? I mean... We don't talk about Oscar. That is why. And the last but not least, the winner but also the loser from Oscar 2022. And it's even on the headline news and all over the internet. Not the less is Will Smith. This is probably going down in history for the most disastrous Academy Award incident that happened. Will Smith's big moment, the slap heard around the world, inspired some truly deranged discourse, as though there was anything other than an out-of-touch egotist slapping a comedian for a lame, culturally irrelevant joke. He do win an Oscar too, for the Best Male Artist for the first time, but he also loses his chance to shine because of the attitude he acted upon. After the incident, Will Smith do take actions to what he did. In a post on his Instagram, Smith called his behavior unacceptable and inexcusable. He also included in his note an apology to Academy, the producers of the show, all the attendees, and everyone watching around the world. But did he also apologize to Chris too? The slap he did in front of national television made the Academy Award Committee conduct a final decision. Will Smith will be banned for 10 years. Starting from 8 April 2022 to all the Oscar events. On the other hand, his fellow celebrity also reacting to his actions during the biggest awarding event. Even people who didn't watch, they likely heard about the slap. And many celebrities, regardless of whether they saw it in person, have shared their reactions. Many celebrities like Nicki Minaj, Conan O'Brien, Jimmy Kimmel, and Kathy Griffin shared their opinion towards the incident. Some of them supported, and some of them not so much. It's quite a ride, and that is all from us, revealing the truth, facts, and more story to your plate. Do you like the taste of the facts? Stay tuned for more like this. Welcome back to Theory of Everything. We gave you more of the popular culture among you, because we knew you're going to love something like this. It includes truth, facts, and even rumors about your favorite thing. So, prepare your spoon and fork, because we're going to give you more plate to eat. we all do love heroes movie, especially when it comes to Marvel or DC. The recent DC Comics superheroes released in theaters were the Batman 2022. And you all know that the story of Batman itself has a different storyline every time it's made. We will uncover the story behind the new version of Batman and all its theory right here, right now. Over the past several decades, there have been more renditions of Batman than any other comic book character, with each actor portraying the masked vigilante differently than the last. However, the 2020 Batman version of the character takes him back to his comic book roots, allowing the titular hero to utilize his detective skills to solve the Riddler's mysteries. When Batman was first introduced, he was a masked vigilante that helped the police solve criminal investigation, which became one of his defining attributes as a character. Batman's skills as a detective are a defining attribute that set him apart from all the others. It provides the character with more unique environments and situations in which to tell superhero stories, as the city criminal underbelly of Gotham City is a far cry from the foes faced by other members of the Justice League. Past versions of Batman have successfully adapted his crime-fighting superheroics for the silver screen, but Matt Reeves' version of the Batman captures every dimension of the character by taking him back to his comic book roots. This allows him to be a great detective in superhero world, which is exactly the hero Batman has always been. There were some complaints online about Pattinson's Batman casting. Many filmgoers continue to closely associate him with the Twilight movie series, which did not exactly showcase the range Pattinson is capable of as an actor. He has been killing it the entire time. Before that, minority of fans took issue with comments from star Robert Pattinson, who confirmed his Dark Knight does not kill, yet such a rule has existed for decades in the comics. Robert Pattinson spoke about what to expect from his character in The Batman, because this movie and version of Gotham City appears to be much more violent and possibly much more deadly. People have wondered if Pattinson's Batman will eschew the no-kill policy we've seen in the past. Batman has appeared in various incarnations throughout the DC Extended Universe. Ben Affleck was the latest celebrity to do the iconic black cape. That is until Robert Pattinson was cast in The Batman. Before any of this happened, there are rumors that Ben Affleck will be the Batman and also the director for this movie. But as per 27, he officially announced that he quits as the movie director. After he quits, several names are floating around already as being in contention for the director's chairs, including Matt Reeves. Apparently, director Matt Reeves was in the running to direct Ben Affleck, but he turned the script down. Matt Reeves, who was in the middle of finishing War of the Planet of the Apes at the time, clearly had a very specific vision for his own Batman. Nolan Trilogy Comparison. When the Batman was first publicly announced, a common refrain could be heard from longtime fans and casual moviegoers alike. Do we really need another Batman movie? Is there anything left to say about this character after Christopher Nolan? Many people comparing the Batman versus the Nolan Trilogy Batman, and in some cases, there are comparisons with those two Batman. But let's make it three, with the Ben Affleck Batman to compare to. The most obvious divergence between the Batman's franchise is the Dark Knight himself, aka Bruce Wayne. The setting of the Batman is something we've seen before. The Nolan Trilogy Batman is closer to the classic comic book representation of Bruce Wayne, in that his Bruce seems morally and mentally better centered. Either way, Affleck's version Bruce Wayne moves around the daytime world, but at night, he's almost a force of nature. His massive armor and weaponry far more destructive and powerful than any of the handcrafted gear that Pattinson's Batman is wielding, driving, or even wearing. By contrast, Pattinson's Batman doesn't particularly have a larger plan. There's no ambition until the closing minutes of the Batman. He simply becomes Batman to fill a void. In fact, he is entirely broken and devoid of hope. Different than the other two, Affleck's Batman tends to murders and mutilates, and his cynical world-weary hero is very much in line with the quasi-fascist view of superheroes that permeates the entire Cineverse. Before Christopher Nolan's trilogy, The Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy was a successful Batman movie at the time. But before Batman played by Christian Bale, Batman already made several times, including TV series and movies with several different actors. Tim Burton directed 2 of the Batman movies in 1989 and Batman Returns in 1992. In 1995, Joel Schumacher took over the movie as a director and made Batman Forever in 1995 with actor Val Kilmer as the Batman, and Batman and Robin in 1997 with George Clooney as the Batman. Many people assumed that the George Clooney version of Batman was the worst. Even the actor said so. George Clooney said how much he hates his performance in Batman and Robin. He even refused to let his wife watch the movie. Clooney's performance as Batman is impossible to defend, but his work as Bruce Wayne isn't as bad as its reputation suggests. Well, Clooney got that rich playboy looks after all. So, that's the end of it. How is it? The taste of facts and truth behind your favorite content? Fascinating, isn't it? If you still want to know the truth about various pop culture facts, stay tuned with us.